Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond Belief. In this next video, you're going to see me doing a coaching session with one of my coaching clients. Her name is Julia Deanne, and she is developing or building and opening a business in the psychic world. She's doing readings. So this journey of me coaching Julia is also going to be here on Beyond Belief, and I look forward to sharing them continually with you throughout the next year. Everybody have a great day and enjoy the video. Bye. Okay, so first let's start off with you said that you're doing really good, better than you have in the last couple of years, and you're sleeping and all of
Yes.
that. So what's what's going on? Why are what's happened that's got you
Well,
doing really well?
one of the things that you got me to do was have a very important conversation with my husband,
Yes.
and we
Yes.
did that, and that was world changing. I've actually been able to now see how many things that I've actually attached to that.
Mm,
It's crazy.
yeah.
So I put myself in a situation where I made sure that I was always available to him no matter what,
Hmm.
period.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Well, sure.
And I
Very
didn't,
common when you actually get into your relationship at a young age, right? And that's
yeah,
your
well,
entire world.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's just it. And it kind of took me back a little bit in the aspect that I didn't realize how much I did it. I do it like everywhere in my world, like everywhere. And it was kind of surprising to see. And like we sat down and had this big conversation, and like I can honestly look at him and go, this is not something that you've done. This is something that I've done because of so many reasons. But I've created
Including
this.
fear. Including fear, even though
That's
you said you
like
worked
tippy
past
top.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
absolutely tippy top, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't even realize that I was creating that. Like,
Yeah.
I created such a place that was, I was honestly, it took me an entire day to stop crying after I talked to you.
Mm,
When you
yeah.
connected those dots, it
Yeah.
was wildly overwhelming. Wild.
I bet.
I can't even explain. So that took me a day.
Okay.
Just like, and I'm talking 24 hours. The
Yeah.
tears just didn't stop. I just cried.
Just to face your
And
reality.
right,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
And from there, it took me the next couple of days to really, like, it's that looking back on all the different conversations and the so many things, right? And I sat very quietly for days. And of course, Rick was in here with the whole conversation of everything that we
Yeah.
had. And you actually, you did a few things for him as well. That
Oh, good.
was, yeah, that's a whole other
Yeah. Yes.
conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously, that was a whole other conversation. But with
So
everything that had
sometimes me not
happened,
having a filter is a good thing. It's not something I'm going
it
to promote in
actually,
most of my coaching, but sometimes me not having a filter is a
this was a really good one, honestly, because
okay.
it was an absolute no filter moment that hit him like a baseball bat, and he sat back and went, "Oh fuck, what have I done?"
Mm, mm-hmm.
Right? And he was able to see things from my side and my point of view being put in my position,
Yes. Yeah.
and it took him aback, like just big time. So
Good.
he let me do what I needed to do for the few days that it took me to wrap my head around everything.
Yep.
And in that time, he did the same thing. So then when we came together, the conversation we had, I can't even explain it to you. It was just absolutely phenomenal.
Good.
So ever since then, so much has changed. So
Okay.
much has changed.
Okay.
Even like, I'll give you a good example. Before I was saying to you, like, my cards felt heavy in my hands.
Yes.
When I would shuffle them, they would stick together and they wouldn't shuffle. My cards feel light. They feel like they belong in my
Yep.
hands.
Totally get that.
I it's I don't even I can't even explain how different I feel
Good.
from so much that has happened from that. Mother's Day.
Yes.
It wasn't an awful day. I had a great day with my family. I had some teary moments. I had some downs, and I didn't sleep great Sunday night, but
Yep.
I slept great last night and I feel so much better today. And I
Good.
honestly, I didn't feel awful on Mother's Day. So
Good.
that to
Are
me
are
was such a
you
huge win.
that is a huge win. Is that but just that I understand why it's a huge win. Is that because like are you talking about this being the first Mother's Day without your mom? Is that where you're
Yes,
coming from
because
or
The reason that I say that is because I sat here going, like I had said to you, and I was really upset when I talked to you, like the last time I talked to you, I was really upset. And it felt like I was getting steamrolled one thing after another, after
Mm,
another, after
mhm,
another. And
mhm.
it was my dad's anniversary, my mom's
Yeah.
birthday, and it was just like one after the other. And I sat there going, my God, like now I've got Mother's Day coming up, and it's just gonna, am I starting this all over again? Right?
Mhm,
Am I?
mhm.
And I didn't.
Good
So,
girl.
and I'm so proud of myself
I'm proud of
that
you
I was
too.
able to keep my head above water. And it wasn't that I was trying to keep my head above water.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just did it. Do you
Yep.
get what I'm trying to say? The
100%.
difference?
Yeah.
So that made me feel
Because there's a
fantastic.
huge difference between making a decision and choice, which I've taught you to do over the years in your Shatter Your Limits and stuff. Making a decision and choice that I'm not going to let the day take me down. And so I have to sort of be vigilant emotionally, which is what you would have normally done. There's a
Yes.
huge difference between that and not actually having to wake up to make a decision of how you're going to do the day. They're nowhere near the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
good.
And that was I actually woke up in the morning and I was in a good mood.
Nice.
And that felt amazing, which kind
Yeah,
of I think set off kind of the rest of it going, you know what? This isn't going to kill me.
yeah,
Like it's awful. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. And I
yeah.
will always have moments going through this. I mean,
Well,
of
it is awful,
course,
it does suck. Every one of us are going to lose our parents, so do and
exactly.
every one of our children, with any luck at all, are going to lose their parents before we lose our children, right? Like,
I
so
agree.
it's sort of a given, and it does suck, and, I mean, obviously, I had obviously not just my dad, there was a whole list of things, but I had an absolute and complete, shutdown where even I had to step off for a couple of weeks and do serious trauma work, so it is a big
Yep.
deal. It is a big deal. Going through these things, they're a big deal, right?
They are.
It's definitely one of the conversations that I plan on having with God myself when I get there, uh, because I understand that He's not the one that makes it a big deal. I mean, we're actually all told before we even get here we're going to die, so I understand that's sort of not His gig. But I'd really like to talk to Him about how He allows humans to portray it. That's
Yeah.
just crap. That's just crap,
I am
right?
on board with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's gonna be quite the
100%. Yeah.
conversation. He's gonna be looking at me like, "Man, you're a mouthy child." And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I'm aware. Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
am."
Yeah. He's going to make you live a very, very long time, my friend.
Right? Exactly. He doesn't want this conversation. I can guarantee that. Yeah, he does not.
The
This and
oldest
a few
woman in
other
the
things.
world.
Yeah, 100%. Okay,
Oh,
so that's really good. So that's good. And you and Rick got to have, the conversations that were needed, and you got to sort of get through some stuff. So I'm going to assume that you guys have been doing good.
yes, we are doing fantastic.
Good.
Absolutely fantastic. It's like I can't explain to you what it's changed in every avenue of my life,
Good.
everywhere. I'm even exercising. I'm back to losing weight again,
Good
and
girl.
I'm treating myself properly, and it's a completely different thing. I'm just
Good.
I feel so much better. I even made phone calls to shops.
Good girl about doing readings.
I did. I have two places I have to send emails in to give them information on who I am and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent.
so
Okay. So today I want to talk about a couple of things. The one thing that I want to talk about is your brand. Okay.
okay.
So it doesn't matter what kind of business we have. We the sort of first part or core part, because just like relationships, so I'm going to back up here a little bit. Just like relationships, everything that we do in business needs to start from a foundation. Okay. And just like relationships, if you don't have a solid foundation on the base of the business, then the business will crumble because it won't hold the weight of everything that you're doing. Just like a relationship, if you don't have a solid foundation, then the relationship will not handle the weight of everything that you're doing to it, and the foundation will crumble. Once the foundation crumbles, there's no picking it up from there. Okay. Now, where business is a little bit different, well, I mean, relationships, you can do this too. Where I suppose you can, because if the relationship crumbles, then eventually you're just going to have another relationship. Whereas same with the business, right? If the business crumbles, then you're just going to open another business. Where it can be a little more complicated, when you have a business that is all about you, okay, where you have a business that you are talent, if you will. Where it can be a little more difficult there is, um, and one of the things that I've noticed in the 30 plus years that I've been doing this is I've changed so much over the years that because I am the core of the business, my brand has had to adjust, right? And so and you tend to forget, so for me, being in the business this long, I tend to forget how important the brand is, because I've got a long list of clients and I've got people that are already in connection. People already follow, I've already made a fan base. So you typically forget about the branding. And I know that even for me, it's something that you sort of need to focus on every couple of years so that you can adjust and shift so that it grows with you, right? So branding and recommitting, okay? Those are the two core things that are, and belief. Those are the three things that are extremely important in the foundation of your business, okay? So branding, we're going to talk about today. Recommitting is sort of, especially in the beginning, because the beginning is very difficult, right? So I'm going to share a couple things. Beginning is very difficult for a few reasons. First of all, we tend to hope more than believe, right? It's a lot harder to believe in something you don't see than it is to believe in something that you do. And when you're new in the business, you're hoping and believing that you're eventually going to get clients, that you'll eventually have regulars, that you'll eventually build up that income, right? That you'll eventually make that kind of money that will participate in the family. And whereas when you're established, it's just sort of a given. I don't have to have faith in that. I've been doing it for 32 years. I know how the program works, right? When it's so that's first part is it can be very difficult to hold on to that belief, which is different than faith, right? Faith is sort of you know something that we hope for, that we want you to get to the point that and belief is something that we know, right? So that can be touchy. And a part of what can make it touchy is how difficult it feels, not how difficult it is, how difficult it feels to build a client base. That's part of it. But another part of it is because very often when we first decide to do something, like become a reader, we sort of get this burst of, excitement and energy, and we're like, yeah, like let's do this, right? And because of that first initial burst, you get a few sessions, there's traction right in the very beginning, right? In your particular situation, there was traction because of your excitement, traction because I had sent something out, right? So there was traction. And
Absolutely.
and when we get traction, we think this is what's gonna be like now. Like we are up and running, right? This is how it's gonna be. So we're just gonna it's gonna be a trickle like it is now, and then it's gonna increase and it's gonna build, and so we get this sort of false sense of expectation. But we haven't built a foundation yet. So the expectation isn't fair, right? For me, it's like going to poker. I go and I win $5,000 that day, and I'm going to be back in poker 5 days in a row, telling myself I'm going to be the next female version of Daniel Negreanu, and I'm just going to quit my career as a coach and a clairvoyant, and I'm going to make $5,000 a day in my poker room, right? You get that excitement, like you all of a sudden start to sort of fantasize and dream, but what it's going to look like moving forward, right? You don't actually fantasize and dream or even imagine for a second that the phone's going to stop ringing. This is just a little burst. You have to do something to build the clients because you technically don't have them. Do you know what I mean? You got to,
Yeah.
for me in poker, you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. So great, I have that $5,000 day, but while I'm going to try to become the next female Daniel Negreanu, it's cost me 20 for the last 5 days because, I'm chasing the dream there. I'm chasing the loss. So we get, so then it trips you up and you get all emotional and you get overwhelmed, and then you second guess yourself and you beat yourself up and you internalize and you tell yourself that you're not good enough at this, and you tell yourself that this isn't obviously what you should be doing no matter how good it feels, or people would be coming to you. You have all these conversations in your head that are of course roadblocks, that you're not even paying attention to the fact that they're roadblocks. and they're unfair, right? That doesn't mean we
Hmm.
don't have them, though. They're unfair, but it doesn't mean that we don't have them. And we don't realize that we've put pressure on it because we convinced ourselves we were going to be the next top psychic, even though we didn't even come close to believing that when we were saying it out loud, right? Um, B, we haven't worked through any of our own sort of crap at that point. We've just decided to grab some cards and start using them, right? So we haven't built any of the foundation. And that's what we want to do. We want to build up the foundation. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does.
So, um, and also, sorry, because I'm backing up because what I was talking about was having to recommit often. Also, in the beginning, once you get established, it's sort of, I'm realizing that I think I used to do it every couple of years, and now I've decided to do it every 6 months where I'm actually going to sit down and recommit to my business. And what that means is get re engaged, re involved, because um, we are ever growing and changing, and so what fit before may not necessarily fit the same anymore. And because of all the emotions and all the things that we deal with, but all the things that we think about ourselves, and you sort of get burnt out quickly. I've discovered, after being in my business as long as I have, as much as I absolutely love what I do, and being the age that I am, you sort of get burnt out and you start telling yourself, I mean, Jesus, this is when you should be slowing down. I'm not sure how much slower I should go than 3 days a week. I mean, let's be honest, I've been semi-retired person for the last 32 years, so I'm not sure what I'm complaining about. But unlike everybody else who's working their 40 to 60 hours a week, having to go into the office, right? Um, but I have realized that I need to recommit more often. So it's very much like in the beginning of the business, where you're constantly having to sort of check yourself, make the commitment again, regardless of what you're seeing, right? And this can get really tough, um, because we're taught everywhere that seeing is believing and proof is action. And when it comes to something like our business, we tell ourselves all the time that if we're not getting the proof, then it means that this isn't what we're supposed to do, right? Everywhere else in our life, we don't actually look for physical proof. We listen to people's words. Okay. But because I'd love to tell you that everybody actually does what society says we should do, which is proof is in the pudding and action speaks louder than words. But as a relationship coach and somebody that works with people in their struggles, that it's absolutely not true. Everybody believes what they're told and hope on a prayer, and it's never about seeing the proof, right? But when it comes to your business, it's the easy thing that you get to go after. You get to go, well, I don't have any proof that this is what I'm supposed to do. I don't have people booking with me, you know. I'm not getting to do the work that I keep saying this is what I'm supposed to do. So maybe I'm not supposed to do it. Maybe I'm just not good enough, right? I'm sure you've gone through that. I can see the
You
smile on
can
your
just
face.
get right outside of my head.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. 100%. And we don't realize or understand, while we're going through this sort of, mental battle, that we haven't allowed ourselves to have any proof. We haven't allowed ourselves to have the proof we keep saying we're looking for. And we haven't acknowledged and soaked in and taken on the proof, the physical proof that we actually have, right? So you have to constantly recommit, and you have to constantly remind yourself why you're doing this, not why you're doing, why. Okay. Why this is something you believe in, why you do believe you can, why this is what you want to do, why you do want to make a difference. You see where I'm coming from?
I do,
Right?
absolutely.
Because we forget. We forget. Okay. Also, why you shouldn't be giving it away for free all of the time, right? You got to constantly recommit to these things. And you got to remember the proof that you got that made you decide to do it in the first place. Because nobody, sweetheart, goes from being a housewife and a homeschooling mom to wake up one day and just decide, today seems like a really great day. I'm going to start being a psychic and do readings. That's not, I know it may
Yeah, no,
seem like that's how it goes, but that's not actually how it went, right? So you have proof in the very beginning that you need to hold on to, physical proof, action proof that you need to hold on to while you're recommitting all of the time. Because you and I both know that what stops people from booking sessions with you is the emotional state of being, is your belief in yourself, which is the downfall fall of the business being all about you, right? It's a downfall when the business is a brick and mortar business too, and and the owner thinks that it has to be all about them and they have to do everything and they have to, make everything happen. It's the downfall of any business because we believe that the business does revolve around us. But when you're in what society would call a sole proprietorship, okay, where the business is legitimately you are the business, it's even harder. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely, it does.
So it's
Yeah.
very important to constantly recommit. But what also is important is to um, create a brand, something that people will recognize.
Okay.
Okay. Because they want, especially brands have always been important, but they were a lot harder to do before. So, when I first started in the business, they were a lot harder to do. And so, when I first started in the business, the brand, just so you can understand, the brand was how I presented myself at all the shows, the banners that I had behind me, the, cloths that I had on the tables, the business cards, the way that I dressed at shows. Um, that was sort of my public persona, if you will, because I didn't have, Facebook and Instagram and all of those sort of things, right? So my brand was very, very visual, and it was extremely important. So I'm going to explain it this way so you can understand. It's tough to remember what it was like 34 years ago, but so I'll just give you a scenario so that you can understand. I had so my colors were purple and pink. I had a banner, that was I think it was probably, 7 feet wide, 6 feet wide maybe, and 3 feet long that hung behind me. It sort of hung on clasps, the curtains at trade shows and stuff, 'cause
Yes,
I
yes,
was I did
yes.
all the psychic fairs, so it hung right on that, right? It was, and the banner stayed the same all of the time. So, obviously, because I had it made, right? So it had my name, it had clairvoyant, it had readings, it had works with police because I had already solved my first case by then. Um I think I had done, one radio expert at the excerpt at that point. So it said radio personality and then it had my phone number. Is somebody trying to
No,
catch your attention?
no, my dog is sleeping over here, and but he's in the bathroom, and I couldn't see him, and I just want to make sure he was still asleep and not
Perfect.
actually doing something.
That's fine. So that was my banner behind me. Okay. And my two tables. So I had a table in front of me and then I had my square table where my readings were. And my square table, so cliche, so cliche. Which will probably suit you because I think you're a little cliche in your brand in the brand you want to create. But it had that mystical purple, pink, and black cloth with all the astrological signs and the moons, and that sat on my little table with all of my cards, and I had 4 different sets of tarot cards there so that people could pick the deck that they wanted me to read from, because I never actually read tarot, but whatever. And then my front table, of course, had a cloth that matched my table, and where my pamphlets were was in the same place everywhere, where my business cards was in the exact same place everywhere. I had, you know, so cliche, I had a crystal ball and another crystal, and then I had the book for signing, and it always looked exactly the same, right? Always looked exactly the same. And my outfits were almost identical. They were color coded because it depended on what kind of energy the show was doing, right? As to what, did I need to sort of downplay my energy or raise my vibration? What did I need to do, right? So that was my brand. Okay. And it always had to look the same. So I want you to think about this because this is all on purpose. It always had to look the same because nobody's going to remember my name. Right now, granted, my name is Kjarlune Rae and the spelling of it's quite unique. So, right. But nobody's going to remember my name.
But they're going to remember what you look like.
Right.
They're going to remember the colors. They're going to remember
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Right. So you gotta, you gotta keep something that so anybody walking in is like, oh, that's that psychic I went to like 6 months ago at the psychic fair. She was crazy good. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So that's how I developed a brand. Right. And I made sure that was the other thing you got to understand is when I worked out of public places, right? I made sure that a couple of those things from my shows were on that table, like the table I was using looked very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So that because that's how people were getting to know me. Psychic fairs was how people were getting to know me, right?
Yeah.
People coming in were getting to know me too, but they needed to see it to be the same all the time. I remember when I was working out of it was a restaurant called Joe Bailey's, and I was doing readings out of there. And when I was there was a cloth on my table and everything looked the same way. So as soon as customers came in on their lunch run on a Thursday, because I worked there on Thursdays, as soon as anybody came in on a Thursday, they could tell just by looking at that table that Kjarlune was there doing readings. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Absolutely, I do.
So those are really important things. And you got to update them. Now, of course, my brand is sort of a lot more personality based because, now my brand is the bitch, sort of my brand. But it's also the physical attributes. My hairstyle is sort of always the same, even if I do it in only 2 or 3 different styles. I think I've been pink for probably 10 years outside of, the last year that I was having a really rough time. My glasses, as much as they have different toppers on them, my glasses are always the exact same, so you got to keep this brand. My colors on my webpage match my colors on my YouTube channel, match my colors in my appointment program, match my colors here in my video program, right? You got to keep things matching. Okay. And it's not something I'm good at. So I need you to understand, sometimes even the coach has got to tell you things that they're not so good at. It is definitely something I drive my marketer absolutely insane. My marketing specialist, I drive her crazy. Truly. She just gets irritated by me constantly. If I were her, I'd have fired me a long freaking time ago, honestly, because I just don't listen. Not my strong suit, but I have 120,000 clients. So, I would be so busy that I would have probably a year's waiting list if I actually focused on my brand. Whereas right now I've only got, a month and a half, right? Like, which I mean, smarter because then I'm sort of guaranteed my income for the next year. I'm not playing this quite right. And I understand that I'm going to need to up my brand if I'm going to do my courses and stuff. But anyway, things have changed over the years and our brand now has to change. Okay? And this is where I want you to start thinking like a business owner, not a mom and a wife.
Okay.
Right? Which makes for a bit of a tough change.
It does make a little bit of a tough change.
It does. Been a mom and a wife for a long time. So we're going to start your brand with, because our brand, just so you can understand, so our brand can be our colors, how we present ourselves, our background, our energy, how we communicate. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So here's what we're going to do, baby. Just give me a second here.
The how you communicate one kind of makes me chuckle. I've had you told me to talk to Lee about doing TikTok and stuff like that, and he's fantastic, absolutely. And he sent me a message one day saying that, and a link to a video going like, to the like no nonsense kind of thing. Don't take bullshit and kind of be
Yep.
more. You have no idea how many deleted videos I have of me trying to be that. I'm so not that person,
Mm,
or at least unless I'm pissed off. That's a whole different person. But
yeah.
I'm
Sweet.
just,
While you're
yeah,
saying this to me, sweetheart, just really quickly, what is your Instagram?
everything's under Julia Deanne.
Thank you.
Uh,
Actually, it's under Ask Julia Deanne.
is it? Oh, wow. Oh, yes, it is. Ask Julia Deanne. Yes.
Okay. So, so I can hear what you're saying. I just wanted to grab that while you were talking to
No
me. So
worries.
go
No
ahead, finish
worries.
what you were saying.
Oh, no, I just thought it was just me being, holy hell.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could do this.
Yeah, I'm that good, baby. I can do a lot of things. But in your whereby room, just so you can understand, yes, you can share things, you can share pages, you can share documents, you can share anything that you want.
Okay, I'm going to have to figure that one out.
I can show you that at a different time. Okay.
No
So,
worries. Okay.
okay. So here's what I want you to do, sweetheart. I want you to keep your notebook down, and I just want you to take a look here. And I want you to look at it from an outside perspective, okay? I don't want you to look at it through Julia. I want you to look at it from an outside perspective. Okay?
Okay.
Like you're somebody sort of seeing it for the first time. Okay? I want you to tell me what brand you have put forward.
Zero. Honestly, there's not, it's kind of a conglomeration of a bunch of different things. So
Right.
there's not
So
really a, go ahead. I was just going to say there's not
love it.
really anything there.
Right. Okay. So couple of things, okay, that I think is really important here is first of all, you've got an avatar as
Yes,
your
I just did that.
okay, really cool, except that you're not an avatar. You're a person, not an avatar. Okay. And the
Okay.
and the avatar tells us nothing. Okay. So if this was an avatar of you looking like a gypsy at a table with tarot cards, then we could totally go with the avatar. Right?
Okay.
Now understand, I'm aware that I have an avatar on some of my social media too, right? But again, you want to keep in mind, and it still has to change, okay? I haven't focused on branding in 32 years, right? So when I put the avatar on it, I put the avatar on as the pink-haired crazy lady because everybody already knows me.
You
Does
have a
that make
foundation.
sense?
I don't.
I
Yeah,
have a
absolutely.
foundation. You don't. Now, I got nothing against an avatar. Okay. If this avatar was you, love the burgundy hair, that absolutely describes you. But if this was you sitting in front of a table with tarot cards or looking like a gypsy holding a crystal ball, or, well, then at least that's going to tell me what it is I should be asking Julia Deanne.
Okay, that absolutely makes sense. And this is again, this is where I kind of fall back on. I don't even know how to change that to make that to look like if I was going with something like that, I don't even know where to go for the next stages of that.
Okay, so sweetheart, you somehow managed to teach. How many children do you have?
3.
You managed to teach 3 children almost their entire education from 0 to 12. You're not a university graduate. You certainly don't have an education degree. So that tells me you're not an idiot.
No, I am not an
Okay.
idiot.
So, like every other human being on the planet, especially in 2024, who have no idea what they're doing, there's this really great thing called fucking Google. Look it up.
Yeah, no,
Look it
I
up.
get that absolutely, and that's
Because
this
in
thing.
1990, I had to learn how to HTML freaking program.
I can't even imagine how hard that would have been.
You'd be surprised once you actually look something up and learn it. You'd be surprised. See what I'm trying to say here?
I do 100%. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
This is AI central. I can guarantee you there's an app somewhere that you literally talk about what you want your avatar to look like, and poof, It's there, right?
Okay.
So
Yes.
so again, the one thing you have to really, thank you so much. The one thing you have to really learn how to do is stop saying, "I don't know how," and start saying, and not to me, okay, to you. I mean, to me too, obviously, because if you don't, I'm gonna give you shit. But to you, I'm going to figure out how to do that. That makes sense. I'm gonna figure out how to do that.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
everything you're going to learn to do to develop your brand is going to put what kind of energy out there?
And I get that. Yeah. If I don't show what I'm
So
actually doing and
okay,
my energy is
but
all about not knowing, then it's not going to happen.
right, but you actually investing the time to Google, look out how to shift and do your avatar the right way, and what are you putting out there?
That I want to do this, that this is
Exactly.
important. 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the first thing that I'm going to tell you your brand tells me. The first thing that your brand tells me is that it doesn't matter. The
I can
first
see that.
thing, right? The first thing your brand tells me is that it doesn't matter. The second thing that your brand tells me is that you like tarot cards, but you don't look or act like a psychic. So I would
What am
have
I
no
supposed to?
so I would have
What?
no
What?
idea you're a psychic. Okay.
So
So hear me out because
yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
now I'm
Yeah.
also going to tell you the great things. Okay. The great thing that I'm going to tell you that actually makes you way ahead of the game. Okay. It took me 15 years to do this. Okay. The great thing that I'm going to tell you is that as much as your videos, which is what these are, don't tell me anything yet, your background has always been the same. So well done. Okay. Because you have been consistent. I'm looking
Oh,
at your
see, I thought I
Instagram.
was being boring.
No, well, I understand why you're saying that, but hold that thought, okay? You're actually being consistent. So as soon as anybody who's following you on TikTok or Instagram sees this background and your purple eyeshadow and they know it's you,
Okay.
right? They get a familiarity. Even if they've never clicked on one of your videos, there's a familiarity. They're like, "Oh, I've seen that chick. I know that chick. I don't know what she does, but yeah, I've seen her before."
Oh,
Right?
okay. I get that.
Because
I've
of the
said that.
hair, because of the background, because 99% of the time you're in a tank top. Do you see where I'm coming from? Your eyes
Yep,
always have purple eyeshadow on them. You see what I'm saying? Okay.
I do.
Now, the other thing that I'm going to give you credit for, which is far beyond me, just for the record, because if you go on my Instagram, I'm sure there's all kinds of shit on there that doesn't describe who Kjarlune Rae is, or my TikTok, or I don't even know if I have TikTok, but whatever, right? I'm sure it doesn't show the consistency of all those things. Truth being, every one of your posts that are not your videos are actually all about intuition,
Okay.
which is great,
I
which is
and that's
great.
what I've tried to steer there.
100%.
So I'm glad I'm doing
100%.
that right.
Yeah, they're a little too loud and really tough to read because of their backgrounds,
Okay.
without a doubt, okay? And the thing you gotta
Okay.
understand is people have a very short,
Attention span.
attention span, right? So, the as soon as they see, like, this color immersion one, for an example, as soon as they see all the green in the background and it's hard to read the white,
Yep.
they don't even continue, okay?
I have to
And that
treat this like I'm teaching.
like you're
Yep.
teaching a 4th grade, a 2nd grader.
Yep. I just, as soon as you said that, it's like if I put this in front of my kids when I was teaching them,
Exactly.
they wouldn't. I absolutely get that. Yep.
Again,
I get
another advantage you have.
that. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that you've done on here is that you've put tarot card pictures on here, which I love. Okay. But first of all, they just look like images. Okay. So to a lame person who has no idea what tarot cards are, they don't actually register that that's a tarot card. So they might put it together with the swords on the hearts or the pentacles sitting there, but it again, attention spans of a 2-year-old. So they're not going to pay enough attention to notice.
Yeah.
Okay. But what they would notice is if your pictures of tarot cards were the tarot cards, and you can find apps for this, but the tarot cards are sort of ghosted in the background. Okay, so like this lover, this ace of swords, for an example. or three, I think it's Three of Swords actually. This Three of Swords is softer. It's sort of ghosted in the background. So you can see it in the background. But what you can see instead is in bold black letters, Three of Swords, and underneath it, the meaning that you have for the Three of Swords. Just a sentence that describes what the Three of Swords signifies to you as a reader.
Okay, so technically what these are from is from Facebook. And when I posted them, I had a write-up with them. So I don't know if there's technically a write-up with these or not,
There
because I had
and
transferred them
there is
over.
over here on the side. So I just showed you
There,
that there is. Okay.
yeah,
But
okay,
again, so two things. First of all, way too big of a write-up,
okay,
which is a mistake I make all the time. So again, you got to understand, I know that some of these mistakes you've learned from seeing stuff I do.
okay,
Okay. I do understand that because my write-ups are always long. I'm long-winded. There's no doubt about it. Okay. But this is way too much information. So being hurt by somebody that you've given too much trust to is something very difficult. That's it. That's what they got. That's where they stop.
okay,
Okay. Whereas if on this picture, if you put the effort in, so yes, you've got the description, but on the picture itself, okay, you put, so let's just take a second here. I'm going to read this and then I'm just going to give you a short little excerpt that you could have written on your actual card. Being hurt somebody that you've given your trust to is very difficult to come back from, no matter the relationship. Knowing how to trust again, it can become an impossible feat. Falling into a dark place where the only thing that you are capable of is attracting is people that will hurt you and keep breaking your trust. Because if that one person can damage me that way, then it would be easy for someone that doesn't love me to do it. So what I would do is, as a description on the card, so I would put Three of Swords in capitals, and then as the description on the cards based on what you're saying here, I'm trying to think of what I could put that would just be very small.
See, when I read my cards, I'm not necessarily saying like each one has a specific meaning. It's
Yeah,
every time you read them, they connect differently, right? So,
of course, but that doesn't matter. But that doesn't matter because the truth is, anytime you see that Three of Swords, for you, you're going to end up getting sort of right off the bat this first description. Okay.
yes,
Yes,
okay, yeah,
you're going to adjust and
flow
shift
differently for
depending
each
on who you're
person.
reading and what's going on with you. So, sorry, I have to write things, which is why I'm doing this.
No worries, no worries.
So, for an example, on the card, it could be pain, broken trust stays with us always. Healing from our pain can bring new love.
Okay,
Now, I just
I get.
described everything that you've written. Okay.
Yes.
By that being on the card, people are going to want to click on it to see what you've written. So then you can have the full description on the side like you've just done. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Now
It does. It makes
you want to shift
sense.
it up a little bit so that there's, I don't know if you notice when I'm making posts and stuff, I put spaces so that people can people can read it easier instead of it being like just sort of one big,
Oh, okay. Yep. Yep.
right?
Yep. I do get
So,
that. Yep.
but the card could be three of swords. Pain and broken trust stays with us. Healing from pain brings new love. And then tarot readings 403-244-5554 right on the card. And if
Okay.
they want more, then they click on it to get more. Do you see how I'm changing that?
I absolutely see how you're changing that.
Okay. So by doing that in these pictures, okay, by doing tarot cards with little mini descriptions on the front of it, so that makes people want to click on them, by doing colors, right? Like just a picture of blue and just a quick little description of what blue resonates to you with readings 244554. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do. Yes, I never thought of doing that.
Uh-huh.
That's brilliant.
Right? And what I would do instead, just for the record, is instead of the readings 2445554, right? I would put readings at www.askkj.ca and book with Julia.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
and then
it's that. Oh, yeah.
right? And then as soon as they click on it, so I'm going to click on this 3 of Swords again. That is the first thing I'd have in bold right away. And it would be book your reading with Julia now. And then
Okay.
a link, not just this. See how you've got at the bottom here, tarot readings by Julie Deanne, call or text 403-244-5554 on or online at www.askkj.ca.
Yes.
It should be tarot readings by Julia Deanne and then the link right to your part of the webpage. So all they
Okay.
have to
Yeah,
do is
I
click
just
the
recently
link.
figured out that I could do that. I didn't know
Yeah,
I could actually link it right to
100%.
me. So I've got that link now, and that's what I'm
And it
putting on
should
the
be at
wall.
the
So
very top.
at the
Okay.
top. Okay.
It should be at
I
the
will make
very
sure I
top.
do
See
that.
where my arrow is now? And then a couple of spaces and then being hurt by somebody that you've given your trust to, blah, 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 blah.
Sounds good.
Right? Because every and we do too, sweetheart. The see, I can't even finish a sentence. That's how bad I am at keeping my focus. I've got the focus of a 2-year-old too. Right? So you got to understand, none of this explains anything.
Okay.
Okay. Now your videos. Okay. Good job, sweetheart, because they are all in the same place. Okay. But where are these videos being done? Where is that place?
I do my videos in my room. It's not where I do my readings. I do my readings in a completely separate place.
Yes, I'm aware. So we're going to try this again. I know where it is, honey. I'm
Oh,
asking
okay. I'm
you to
sorry.
describe it. Where are these readings being done? Where are these little videos being done?
These are being done in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm. And
And
what energy do we have in our bedroom? Because unless you're looking to open an OnlyFans page, your
no,
videos don't
I'm
belong in your
certainly not.
fucking bedroom. Because your
Okay.
bedroom is where you cry, where you're emotional, where you cuddle with your husband, where you guys watch TV, where you smoke your joints, where you relax and read a book, they are not where you work.
No. I never thought of it like that.
So the energy is Julie, mom, husband, not Julia, reader. The energy is Julie,
That makes a good point. I
right?
never thought of it like that.
Every
Yep.
one of these videos should be in your office.
Yep. I get that. That makes total sense.
Right? You got to think,
I will.
what
I will.
energy am I putting out there?
Yep.
And where am I doing it? Because where I'm doing it, it's the same reason you're virtual. You could literally do your readings anywhere. You could do your readings in your bedroom. I don't recommend it, but you could,
Yeah. And
right?
I absolutely don't. And that's I have a whole space. And yeah, and I don't know why I don't do my videos in there.
Uh-huh.
I do know why I don't do my videos in there because I'm sabotaging myself and I'm not okay. Yes, I get it. I get it.
Right? And because you
Oh,
don't know anything about branding,
yeah. Yeah. This is all very new. Yeah. And in
right?
all honesty, putting myself out there has been a very scary thing.
Of course it has,
Yeah.
honey. Of course it has. It is a very scary thing. Being vulnerable is a very scary thing. You know
You're
what's
not kidding.
scarier? You know what's scarier? Wanting to make such a difference and not being able to make it with anybody. Scarier.
Yep. I've been in that loop of, am I good enough to do this?
Yeah.
I desperately want to do this, but
But
it's
you're
not
definitely
happening.
not even telling yourself that as you're
Yep.
doing everything in your bedroom.
Yep. Yep, I get that.
You see where I'm coming from? Okay.
I do.
So presentation is a part of your branding, and presentation matters. Okay. So I want you to think of your TikTok page, your Instagram page, your Facebook page as your psychic fair booth.
Okay.
Okay. It needs to be presented and united and always look the same. That's part one. Okay. So part
That's
two,
sorry, that's fucking brilliant. I'm sorry.
yes, I don't know why you're sorry. Part
I just need to
two,
write that down.
yeah. Part two is you personally, because you are your brand. Okay.
Okay.
So, how do you want to present yourself? How do you want to look?
I'm very much the cliche.
Okay.
I get what you're saying there. I'm very much the mystical, magical,
Then be the
wonderful.
cliche, baby. Then be the cliche. Then make sure that you're in an office that shows the cliche.
Okay.
Okay. Own it. Own it. Okay. If you're going to be the gypsy psychic tarot reader, own it.
Okay.
Truly.
And what's funny is that's the thing. I've talked about this. I mean, right now you and Rick are the only people I've ever talked about this before, because it's something that I mean, it sounds crazy. It's exciting, but it makes me feel very like I can't do that, right?
Why?
So it's because
Why?
because then it'll make me stand out. And
But you
that's what I'm
already
getting.
are the cliche, sweetheart. You already
Exactly.
are that person. You
I know.
show videos of anywhere in your house. You're going to see dragons and mystical creatures uh,
100%.
and dream catchers, and you're going to see it everywhere. You are the cliche, honey. It's not even like you're trying to present yourself that way. It's actually who you are.
Yeah. That's why I figure that would be the right thing. And
Be
that's
who
where
you
I've been.
are.
Yeah, I've been just been hiding myself, and I have to stop hiding that and just be that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You also have the desire to write books about color therapy, to do courses about color work, which means color needs to be a focus in every one of your videos, and it needs to match the vibration of the video. Okay.
Okay.
So, remember when I said my outfits were all the same but different colors? Okay.
Yes.
So, back then, I was famous for wearing the loose flowy suit pants with the long jacket that flowed, that matched, and then a tank top underneath, right? That was sort of my
Okay.
go-to look, if you will. I was a big girl. It was comfortable. It was about as dressy as I could get at a 6X. Okay. Um, and I had specific colors. I had 3 or 4 specific colors. I had burgundy for when I was in a show and I felt like a lot of love and support was needed because there was a lot of emotions. The people that were coming in were very emotional. They needed, unconditional support and love. So I'd wear a lot of the burgundies, right? My deeper red so that they could feel that off of me. When I was in a show that felt like I was constantly having to prove myself, or there was a lot of sort of arrogance. There was a lot of entitled clients that were walking in, which is very common in the psychic industry. People don't give psychics nearly enough credit for our intelligence or what we're actually capable of doing, right? So I would have an orange one, and it was like deep, strong orange, because as soon as I put it on, it gave me confidence and strength. Do you see what I'm saying? If things were
Absolutely.
crazy insane and it was just chaos in that show, I wore a lot of the blue because that would just calm everybody down, right? The
Yeah.
only color that I didn't wear at a show ever, which is funny because it's the only color I wear now. I've made up for it with my hair, so it's fine. But the only color I didn't wear at a show was black because I
Of
didn't
all
want to.
colors.
Well, I couldn't be hidden. I'm in a show to make money. I'm paying for that booth. I need to make as
Of
much money as possible. The last thing I'm going
course.
to do is hide myself,
Okay. That makes
right?
sense. Yeah.
So that's why I wore the long flowy outfits, because that hid me versus the black.
Okay. I get that.
Do you see
Yep.
where I'm coming from? Okay. So
100%.
before you do your videos every day, you need to pick what your energy needs more of. Okay, so if you're lacking confidence that day, you need to wear orange so that you kick people's ass in that video. If you're
Okay.
feeling low, you need to wear yellow so that you brighten up. If you're feeling chaos, you need to wear blue. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's
I
not like
do.
you
Yep.
don't have the entire color of the rainbow in your wardrobe. So we don't even need you to go shopping to do this. Does that make sense?
Color's a big deal. Yep.
So live it, sweetheart. If it's something that
Yes.
you are confident enough to be able to teach and write about, live it.
Okay.
Does
That
that make
was that
sense?
was one of the other things I kind of wanted to talk to you about as well, was exactly that. Is I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I'm to say in my email to be able to send these people of what I'm wanting to do and all this type of stuff. And
That's
I even have made a note on the bottom of
back up.
my list.
We're not
Yep.
having that conversation for about 4 more weeks. We're focusing on branding.
Okay.
Don't sabotage yourself before you even get started. We're focused on simplicity today. We're not focused on what it is you're going to send out emails. You don't have enough fucking people to send emails out on. What does it matter?
No, it was to the stores. Like,
Uh,
and that was what I was
well,
looking at, and I wrote on the bottom.
that we can go a little
Yeah.
different, but just to hold that thought for a second, okay? Um, so that those are the things that you want to focus on. That's what you want to create over this week is that brand.
I can do that.
Okay. Now, the other question that I have for you, so again, I'm going to share this that I can just see, and then as soon as we're done, as soon as we're done this part, we'll talk about what you're asking me. But I'm going to click on one of these videos.
Oh, I've never watched them on Instagram. These are all technically from TikTok as well that
Yeah,
I've shared over.
yeah, I get that. But have you on TikTok, sweetheart? Have you ever tagged the person that you're doing the card for?
I did. You got me to do that for homework to pull names, and I did, and I was tagging people on it. And the views went from I was getting over 200 a day, and it started going down, 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 down to my last one was 60 views. So I stopped tagging people in my views and went right back up to over 200.
Okay. So then instead of tagging them on TikTok, tag them on Instagram. And is there a way to and
Technically, they're followers on TikTok, so I don't know if they're on Instagram.
doesn't matter because you're talking about a Google algorithm here, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
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 You can either tag them or you can put a comment attached to it, like go in and edit, because I'm sure you can edit and put the name from TikTok. So first of all, I would put my TikTok link so that people go to my TikTok because that's the only way they're going to get the chance to be able to get a card picked for them. Okay,
Okay.
so I would have my TikTok link, and then I would have something on there. I can't hear this because we're on ours, so I can't hear what you're saying. But you could put in the description your TikTok link. Okay, to be chosen to have a card read that day for you, click this link and follow me. And then something like today's reading was about love and relationships. I chose Kjarlune Rae, but this will speak volumes to all of us.
Okay.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do.
Start cross engaging.
Okay.
Start cross engaging. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Now, I'm going to stop sharing here. I don't know if I can. Let's just see here for a second. I have no idea if I even have TikTok. That'll tell you. So let's see if I do, because if I do, then I can look at your TikTok and see if there's something that we want to change. Oh, look at me. Oh, stop. Sorry, everybody. Ask Julia. Are you under Julie?
No, I am just double checking here. It's under Ask Julia Deanne. Same thing.
Ask Julia. D E
D Deanne.
Well, there she is. Okay, so now we're just going to share the TikTok. And now I'm going to go in here and let's see the videos.
Hi guys, if this message comes across your For You page, then...
Okay. So, okay, so a couple of things. So I see that you've got all these tags.
I've done it with no tags as well. That was another one.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't the tags are
Trying different things.
yeah,
Yep.
the tags don't matter to me. I just want them under what you're doing. Okay. So for an example, I'm just going to play this one. I'm just going to play this one and then I'm going to give you an example of what you would post. Okay.
It is definitely for you.
Can you hear this
Today
too?
we have pulled
Okay.
the Nine of
Yep.
Cups. The Nine of Cups, reminding you that you have everything that you need. Celebrate the things that you have in your life.
So the very first thing that I would do is I would put celebrate life and then Nine of Cups. Okay. And then without
Okay.
tagging, because you don't even need to tag. If you tag, you said people are going to drop down and not pay attention to it. So then without tagging, leave a couple spaces and put tarot reading, celebration, life, faith, believe, those not like as your tags. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Link it more to what the actual video is.
Exactly. Take a few of the keywords in the first part of your video to use as tags,
Okay.
right? Because we don't need 1, 2, 3 tarot tags. Okay.
Okay.
We could have tarot reading, we could have psychic, we could have inspiration, we could have celebrate life, we could have happiness. You see where I'm coming from?
I do. Yep.
Right? All that makes sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Good. Good. Okay. Now, also, any of the videos that you're going to do that are about color, you want to make sure that the color is in the video.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever color you're talking about. And I am going to tell you, people tend to be way more drawn, just so you know, will be way more drawn to hear what you have to say with your glasses on in your video.
I can't see with my glasses on.
I'm sorry. Why do you need to see to do a video?
It's just everything is super blurry. I honestly, I never even thought about it. So whenever I put my glasses on, it's like just everything on the screen is super blurry. So I always take my glasses off.
Okay. So that tells me that you need better glasses. But the point that I'm trying to say is you don't actually need to look at what you're doing. As long as you know where your camera is, that's what you need.
Okay.
But I just want you to try a couple of videos and see if people acknowledge faster. Okay. It may sound crazy to you, but glasses represent intelligence. It's actually
Okay.
funny because I'm frustrated with myself right now that my glasses are downstairs.
That's funny.
Very rarely do you see me do any videos where I'm not wearing my glasses.
Yeah. Okay. I will definitely do that.
Right. Okay.
I
So
never
that's
thought about that.
well, we don't think about those kind of things, but we should, right? And the other thing I want you to do is consciously, because obviously you're on TikTok, which means you have TikTok, which means you follow people too, and you go to YouTube and you follow people. And I want you to really start to, especially for the next couple of weeks, I want you to take notes. I want you to turn this into a part of your research. Okay.
Okay.
What is it about them? What is it about their brand? What is it about what they're representing that makes you want to follow them? What's their energy? What's their familiarity? What's the connections? What's their brand?
Okay.
Right? Because then you'll notice, and that may sound crazy, but pay attention to how many people you follow that wear glasses. versus not wear glasses. If you don't follow
Yep.
those people wearing glasses, then don't worry about your glasses. Then literally just keep them up on your head like you're doing now. Do you see where I'm
Okay.
coming from?
I do,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Use this, everything that you're doing. See, right now you're trying to create a brand. Okay. You're trying to market yourself. So everything that you're doing online, you should be treating as research for marketing. Ask Julia.
Okay.
You with me?
Yep. I absolutely am. Yeah. I never thought about looking at it. Why am I attracted to other pages?
Of course, but it matters
It does. It absolutely matters.
because
It
you're
absolutely matters.
attracted to the industry that you're in. See,
Yep.
I won't do the same thing because I'm not attracted to the industry that I'm in. As a matter of fact, most people are going to be blown away because I've just partnered with Bonnie and we're doing a huge YouTube channel and people are never going to believe that. Most people are going to be like, what do you mean? What do you mean she's doing something with another psychic? That's not even. Anybody who knows me is going to be like, what the hell happened to KJ?
When you first told me that, I was very surprised.
Uh-huh. Right?
I'm excited though.
Oh, 1,000%. It's going to be great. But you know, I don't actually follow this world. I've been in this world for too long. I'm in this world every freaking day. I don't need to follow people for it. And most people, I'd end up feeling this overwhelming need to respond to them, and it would not be pretty. It would be so bad. Just to be bad. It's in everybody's best interest, including mine, that I don't follow everybody, right? But it is the thing that you enjoy. I don't need to learn in this anymore, right?
Yep.
I
I get that. Absolutely.
I followed it before, but again, that's a significant difference between $50 or $150 an hour to $300 and $500 an hour, which is where I am now.
Yeah.
Right? 10,000, 20,000 a year in coaching,
Yeah.
right? Per person. So it's different. I don't need to learn all of that. I absolutely need to learn about branding if I want to do the things that I'm looking to do next, without a doubt. I am sure my marketer is going to love this because I actually need to listen to her. That's going to be on YouTube. Never going to be able to take
I
that
wish her
back.
good luck. Yeah, now you've said it.
Yeah, I'm never going to be able to take that back. She's definitely she's going to have that in just a little meme, send it to me by text message every day. But right, because I'm looking to change things. I'm looking to be something different as Kjarlune Rae. So of course you got to rebrand, right? But that's what I want you to focus on. Okay.
I
Now,
can definitely do that.
good, because that's your homework. So now I'm going to ask you really quickly. Do you need to talk to Rick? Rick just got here.
No, I was just telling him that Bear is in the bathroom and he's probably going to lose his mind. So
Okay. Hello, Rick.
Everything's calm. He's going in to go and see him.
Perfect. So the other thing that you wanted to ask me about really quickly is how you're going to approach these stores. So first of all, are the stores in Calgary? I'm assuming, because you'd like to work out of them. So the first thing is you don't send them an email. That's the first thing. First thing,
Okay.
don't send them an email. Go and meet them.
Okay.
Go and introduce yourself.
One of them is under renovations and asked me to send them an email. So that one falls a little differently.
In that situation, you're going to put together a video that will introduce yourself and what you're doing and what you'd like to do with them.
Okay.
And on the email, put it as a link, put it on Google Drive for them to click on, put it as a link. And on the email, just say, hello, whoever the owner is. Thank you so much for asking for me to send you an email while your shop was in renovating. My name is Julia. I am a card reader, and I have attached a video so that you can see me, be aware of me, feel my presence, connect while you're trying to choose, and then let the video be about everything that you're doing, the readings in the video. Absolutely. And I'm not just saying this because I am your mentor, but I am your mentor, and you should actually probably take advantage of that, especially in Calgary, and promote that you were taught and qualified and you work with Kjarlune Rae.
Okay. I can definitely do that.
Right? And you can put from Energy 1015, from Virgin Radio, from CTV, from Kjarlune Rae.
Okay.
Right? And let them understand you're not just somebody coming out with a deck of tarot cards. You are trained, you're qualified, you actually work with the best in the industry. Create some validity.
Okay.
Okay, because they're looking to see why people would want to come to you.
Okay.
in
Hang on
their
one sec. The
store.
gates are all open for them to be able to come in and out of, so you can't let them out. So he can go out into the house, but he can't go out in the yard. Sorry.
You're
We
fine.
had power poles fall down.
You're fine. Do you see where I'm coming from? And
I
have
do,
that
yeah.
available for the ones that you need to that you need to email because they're in renovations. For everyone else, you want to go and you want to introduce yourself to them.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You want to present yourself. So you want to make sure that you're in the right frame of mind. If you're nervous, you want to wear orange so you've got confidence. Okay. And you're not Julie going in that door. You're Julia Deanne,
Okay.
the reader. Okay. So you
Yes.
go in as the reader. Remember, we've had this conversation. Carlin doesn't walk into any environment that has to do with clairvoyant. Kjarlune Rae does.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And that's again where the belief comes in, and knowing that this is who I actually am.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I just randomly decided to do this.
Yeah. This isn't what you're thinking about doing. This is who you are.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I think I've spent too much time trying to convince myself over, and just take a breath and just do. Right. And that's
100%.
where I was kind of freaking out over the fact, like, I'm not doing my readings. Am I going to be like, should I be practicing constantly doing these? And it's like, this is just who I am. Fucking relax.
Correct.
Breathe.
Correct.
I can do this.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So yeah.
Okay.
And that's, like I said, a lot's changed in the last couple of weeks, and I've been able to just feel better in my own skin, which is really nice.
Which is lovely. Which is great.
Yes.
Okay, so that's your homework. That's what you want to work on. That's what you want to focus on. That's what you want to do for the next 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay.
Through the summer, I'm changing us to every 2 weeks because I have too much going on right now. So throughout the summer months, I'm changing us to every 2 weeks because Tuesday is typically I'll be coming back from the lake and I'll be doing all kinds of other things on Tuesdays. So we're going to move it to every 2 weeks. So everything that I give you to do is going to be in 2-week intervals. Once September hits again, we'll come back to weekly.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Good.
Sounds good.
That's your homework. That's what you need to do. Have yourself a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing all the changes.
Sounds good. You have a great week.
Have an awesome day, baby. Mwah.
You too.
Bye, honey.
Bye.